Hey, you guys. So we have been working with place value and rounding and comparing and ordering numbers. And so what I want us to do is take a second to look at two different representations of numbers and figure out what is the same and what's different. So what I want you to do is I want you to get your math journal out. And I want you to just look at this base 10 representation. And I want you to draw it on your paper real quick. I see a 1,000 cube. I see 6 flats. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tens. And I see 8 units. And then I want you to write this down, 25 tens, 28 ones, and 14 hundreds. And I want you to think to yourself, what's the same here? Well, I see that there are ones in both. There are tens in both. There are hundreds in both. And I think that I actually see that there's 1,000 in both, even though the one on the whiteboard doesn't say 1,000, because I know that 10 flats, 10 hundreds, is equal to 1,000. And here I have 14 hundreds. So I think I actually have 1,000 here, and that's actually similar, but it's different in how it's represented. So I just want you to take a few minutes and think about all of this. I want you to figure out, what is this representation in base 10? And then what does this mean with 25 tens, 28 ones, and 14 hundreds? Take some time to think about that today, you guys, as you do your number sense. Hey there, mathematician. So today in math, we are going to continue learning how to compare and order numbers all the way up to 100,000, and you're going to have some more time to practice today. Before we start, I want to show you this anchor chart. Do you see something that's similar from yesterday that I showed you? Oh, good. You see the place value chart here. I love it. Oh, some of you say that you see the comparative statement here also. Great job. Some of you also saw this number line down here, and that is a great tool and strategy that we use when we are comparing and ordering numbers sometimes. Okay, mathematicians, one thing I want to show you on this anchor chart before we move on is that after I can put my numbers into my place value chart, and I start to look and go, oh, this one wants it from greatest to least. Well, here I see that my least is going to be this number that's 3,410 because it has a 3 in the thousands and the other two have 4,000s. So I know it's my least one, so I'm going to put a 3 next to that because my least. And then I'm going to go and I'm going to go, okay, these are the same. So let's go to the next place value. Oh, 2. That 200 is less than 800. So that's going to be my middle number, that's second. And then that leaves this middle number right here as my first number when I line them up. So sometimes this might be a useful tool right here to rank them in order when you are just looking at them. Okay, mathematicians, I love animals, and I really love weird, crazy animals. And so I have something I want to share with you today. So experts estimate that there are about 11,100 red pandas, 13,790 Australian sea lions, and 11,855 New Zealand sea lions in the world. Wow, I love those animals. Those seem really cool. I want you to write these numbers in order from least to greatest. And then I want you to compare each pair of those numbers using the less than, equal than, or greater than sign. And you're going to tell why your comparisons are correct. So let me show you what I mean. First, we definitely want to bring back our place value chart because that is such a valuable tool. Then we want to plug in our numbers just like we did yesterday. So here on the top, you can see I have my red pandas. My middle is my Australian sea lions, and my bottom are my New Zealand sea lions. I forgot to label them this time, but I did put them in order that they appeared in my text right here. So that should help me too. The next thing I want to do is find this statement. write these numbers in order from least to greatest. Because you know what, mathematicians? Sometimes as teachers and sometimes on tests, we try to trick you to see if you're really paying attention. And do you know, can I tell you a secret? Come close. Sometimes we will put an answer choice on there that's actually asking for the opposite just to see if you're paying attention. I know we're tricky sometimes. So it's going to be super duper important that you pay attention to, do you want it from least to greatest or greatest to least? And in this case, what is it? You got it. It's least to greatest. So here's what I'm going to do to help remind myself once I get to work. I'm going to write this down, least to greatest, like with an arrow. And then I'm going to put least, and then I'm going to put the less than sign, and then I'll put my middle, and then a less than sign, and then my greatest. And that's going to help me plug in these numbers as I go. Okay, mathematicians, I want you to pause the video for a second. And I want to see, do you remember how to compare and order these numbers? I already gave you a hint of where you're starting in the 10,000s place, but I don't think it's going to get you very far since they all have the same digit in that same place. So think, where am I going to go next? And I want you to pause, and I want you to try and work it on your own and come up with this comparative statement. Okay, mathematicians, did you figure it out? I hope that you went to your thousands next and saw that you have two numbers that are at 1,000 each, but you have one that's 3,000. And if you have 3,000, that is greater than 1,000. So this middle, this 13,790 that describes the Australian sea lions is actually your greatest number. So you have figured that one out so far. So I've crossed my middle one out. Okay, so I'm down my thousands. Now I go to my hundreds. Okay, 100 versus 800. Which one's the lesser? Yeah, you're right. The 11,100 is lesser than 11,855. So my least is actually going to be this top row of red pandas, 11,100. My middle is going to be 11,855 to describe the New Zealand sea lions. And then again, my greatest is 13,790, and that describes the Australian sea lions. Awesome. Okay, are you ready for a chance to do it by yourself? Here is yours. James and Sai each wrote a number using the same digits. Think about what a digit is. James wrote 39,842 and Sai wrote 38,942. Which number is greater? Compare them using less than, greater than, or equal to, and tell us how you know. Don't forget, here's your anchor chart. Don't forget to set up your place value chart. And I want you to pause right here so that you can keep this image on your screen while you work. And you can post a picture of this and send it to your teacher in Seesaw when you're finished. Make sure that you complete this activity because your teacher might just bring it up in your small group time. Okay, mathematicians, off you go.